Hey, this is Susan Velez from SusanVelez.com, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I make the techie side of blogging easy. So if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, I highly recommend that you do, because what I like to do is I like to provide tutorials, advice, anything that's going to help you start, grow, or monetize your WordPress blog, as well as I share tips and information on what I'm doing to grow my blog. So in today's tutorial, what I wanted to do is I wanted to walk you through the process of how you clean your database from your WordPress blog. Now, we all know that after a blog gets a certain age or once you've been blogging for a while, you have to go in there and you have to do tasks like cleaning up the database. It may sound a little complicated, but it's not difficult, and I recommend that you clean it at least. I try to clean mine at least once every 4 or 5 months. Of course, it'll vary. It depends on how many comments you get, how many plugins you're constantly uploading, stuff like that. But it's definitely a task you want to consider, and if you haven't cleaned yours in a while, you may want to follow along and get yours cleaned. So I'm going to show you the process, and as you know, with WordPress, there's tons of ways to do different stuff. This is the way that I clean my database, and so I'm going to walk you through the process of how I do it. So first thing first you want to do is you want to make a backup. I've actually made a backup on Blog Vault, so my backup's taken care of in case something goes wrong, because if you work with WordPress, you know things can happen, and then you don't want to be left without a blog. If you've been working really hard, the worst thing that can happen is that you lose your blog. So make sure you have a backup in place before you follow along and do what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my dashboard, and then we're going to go ahead and clean up my database. It's probably been about maybe 2-3 months, so it shouldn't be too bad, but I'm going to show you how I do it. So what you want to do is you want to come over here to plugins. We're going to install a plugin. Now, I install a plugin, and then once I'm done with the cleanup, I will remove it. I don't leave this plugin on my site because I try not to keep plugins on my site that I don't need to use every day. So the one plugin that I like to use for my cleaning up my database is called WordPress Optimize. I believe that's the name of the plugin. Oh, hold on. Let me grab this. We need to add a new plugin because we don't actually have this plugin right now installed on the site. So we're going to come over here and we're just going to type in WordPress Optimize, and then it should come up. And as you can see, this one plugin has over 600,000 active installs. It was last updated 4 months ago, and it is compatible with my version of WordPress, which is I believe at the moment it's 4.8. So this is the plugin that I use whenever I clean up my database. So you can use any of these plugins that you want. You can use you can go through here and find any of these plugins or a WordPress optimization plugin that's going to help you clean your database. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be using this one. So I'm going to install it, and then we're going to go ahead and show you how simple it is to clean up your database. And as I said, this isn't a task that you need to do every day. In fact, you don't even need to do it every month. You just need to make sure that you're maintaining your website, especially if you're not paying for somebody to do this, then you need to go ahead and take care of it yourself. So we're going to activate it, and then once we activate it, we're going to go ahead and go clean up our database. So give it a moment to activate, and then we're going to take care of everything else. All right, so it's taking a little bit of time to activate. All right, so now that it's activated, you can see that it is right here, WP Optimize. So we're going to click on that. And then you can see that all these are checked, and then I pretty much just leave it as default, and I don't ever check any of these. So if you're unsure of what to do, or you can actually play around with this and kind of see what it is, like I said, I do recommend that you have a backup of your site, and you want to make sure that everything is backed up, so in case something does happen. So as you'll notice right here, it says 33 post revisions in your database, and then it says no spam, no trash comments, one auto draft post in your database. So as you can see, my database is not really dirty, but it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and optimize it. So we're going to go ahead and say run all selected optimizations. So we're going to do that. And it's going to go ahead and clean up my database. So you just you click on it, and then you just let it do its thing. And then once it's done, then we'll go ahead and remove the plugin again, and it should be cleaned. So, and it'll tell you how much space it's removed or how much it's cleaned after it's done. So it may take a little while depending on how long it's been since you've actually cleaned your database. So you want to just go ahead and just let it run. So I'm going to pause this while it's running, and then I'll be back to show you what it tells you after it is done running through the process. All right, so the process has been completed, and then right here you'll notice that it says, it tells you everything about the WordPress, and then it'll say last automatic optimization was June 16, 2017 at 10:35 a.m. And then it'll tell you how, your current database size, and then it tells you how much you can save, and then the total cleanup. So it'll give you the total cleanup. Now, as far as these tabs, to tell you the truth, I really don't use them. See, like I said, you can kind of play around with this. What I do is I basically just clean it up like this, come to WordPress Optimize, run all the selected optimizations, and then once that's done, I'll come back over here to my plugins, and then I'm going to remove them. I'm going to go ahead and remove this actual plugin. So I'm going to deactivate it, and then we're going to remove it from the site. Because like I said, I don't like to keep it on here if I don't use it all the time. So we're going to remove it. And then we want to make sure that the site is still running and looks good, and that nothing was messed up. So everything looks fine. We're going to come over here to view blog posts. And then you can see that everything does indeed look good. And if something did happen, then you would want to make sure that you restore it from the database, or from your backup that you made before you actually went through and restored it or cleaned it up. So anyway, that is how I clean up my database. Like I said, there's several different plugins that you can use to do this. Of course, like I said, this is how I manage my site. If you do something different for your database, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to check it out or use your tips. Anyway, don't forget to stop by my blog at susanvelez.com, where I share tons of more tutorials on WordPress, Genesis, as well as what I'm doing to grow my WordPress blog. So don't forget to subscribe to this video, give it a thumbs up, a like, and I will talk to you later. Have a great one.